Hey, what's up? You are tuned into the Bougie AF channel. We are back with another video. And so what I wanted to talk about was Miss Erica Campbell of the group Mary Mary. I guess she recently just came out. And y'all know, we say with a lip gloss and keep our lips shiny, popping, and beautiful. All right, so this is your first time to my channel. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. So I already have it up on the screen. I'm trying to get a little better with that, but y'all know I'm a new beginner. I'm a beginner, so I can make these mistakes. I can figure out my flow. I know where I'm at. Okay? I just got started just a week ago. All right. So if you haven't heard, Erica Campbell from the group Mary Mary, one of my favorites group. I think my favorite song, and I know people like they have all these like slow ballads of theirs that they like, slow gospel songs, but not me. They're not ballads, but slow gospel songs that they like. I'm not the slow gospel song person for when it comes to them that I love, but that Go Get It song. Listen, since we talking about it, we might as well bring it up because I literally recently just listened to some of that song. That is absolutely probably one of my favorite songs. Like my go-to if I need to pick me up, if I need some type of motivational. Yeah, that Go Get It song. Let me find it. Let me find it. But like I said, Jaguar Wright, I probably every other day I probably listen to her music. I haven't been so much recently paying attention to everything that's been going on with her in terms of all the rumors and all the things that's been coming out. I haven't been watching too much. I know I watched last week's I watched Jaguar Wright's last week's interview she did at a radio station, but it was on Facebook and I shared it to the group. So I'm just like, okay. Okay. But Erica Campbell said you can't sow whole seeds and reap marriage benefits. And then everyone makes it seem like when someone says something, it's just towards women. That can go both ways. That could be for a man or a woman. I feel like when you say that, like it could be for a man, for a woman. I personally hate cousins in the group. I personally don't feel like when she says whole that she's just talking about women. I think that when I think about men, I don't want to marry or be in a relationship with a man hoe. You know what I'm saying? And granted, society doesn't put that pressure on them so they can do whatever. But me, I don't want to be with a man that spread himself way out or all over the place. Not me. So when I read this, and it's so funny because I think people make the assumption, oh, you're talking about women who sell their body. Nope. I think that's a conversation for someone who doesn't have the ability to have a bigger conversation about something. Hey, Aroma. I think that's for somebody who can't have a bigger conversation about something. But I think the small-minded person would see this and be like, oh, she's talking about women and she's trying to dog women. No, hoe can be interchanged between men and women. And that's just what it is. So let's read what she says here. Let's read some of the comments. Okay, you can't sow whole seeds and reap marriage benefits. Your brain, body don't switch like that. You got to prepare your mind for marriage because it's ministry. It is so true because, yeah, she's right. Marriage is ministry. And if you are someone who's spreading yourself all over the place and all out there, you can't prepare or be fully invested into your marriage. There's just no freaking way that you can be fully invested into the person and your life partner if you are all over the place. So I totally get with what Erica was saying, what Erica is saying. I think a lot of women I think women will feel some sort of way because, oh, why can't we just be us? Why can't we just do what we want? If a man can do it, we can. I think a lot of women get caught up in that. And that is true. If a man can do it, they can, you should be able to do it too. And I think that's absolutely the truth about it. But at the same time, if society looked at us that way, then that would be fine. You know what I'm saying? That would be okay. But I don't know. And just like, I'm sorry, I know a lot of people are going to feel some sort of way. I'm probably going to have to record this. Let me see if I... Oh, no, I'm good. So I know people are going to feel some sort of way. King Von, who just recently passed away, he had an interview with Gilly. And maybe I can find that. I'm not even going to try to find it. But you guys can go find what's his name? Million Dollars podcast, Gilly's podcast. So he recently had the rest in peace King Von, who just passed away from that gun violence that happened in Atlanta. But his last interview, one of his last major interviews was with Gilly, and he was just talking about like the access to women that he has and how his taste has changed, what he likes has changed, right? And I don't necessarily feel like we need to bring in the other woman that was it directed to because I think that's foul. I'm not even quite sure why the host even brought up that rapper. You get what I'm saying? Because I think King Von could have made his point without trying to point it towards Asian Doll. I mean, you have relationships with people, and it just is what it is. Either someone that you used to be with, or either yourself, you either going to level up with your next person that you with, or you going to digress and get someone who's even worse, and that's just is what it is. But at the end of the day, I thought it was interesting that King Von said, he was like, yeah, what I used to have access to is not what I like anymore. I'm trying to see what else is out there. I'm trying to get to those women who come with something. You know what I mean? That's what I'm looking at. And I thought that was interesting. And, I don't think he was trying to shade her. I mean, because I think at the end of the day, Asian Doll Brat. I'm gonna say I don't know which name she's fully. I think it's Asian Brat, but whatever. AsianDollBrat.com is a company. AsianDollBrat.com puts food in people's mouths. She puts clothes on people's back. She supports people. So when he is shading her in that way, I'm just like, well, that don't fit her because she's most definitely a go getter. She's most definitely doing her thing. So I feel bad that the interview and people in the public is trying to make it seem like, oh, he was trying to shade Asian Doll and call her all types of hoes. And I just don't think that's it. And I just don't think that she fits that pedigree. Is it creepy and weird that she came out and talked about the spirits and when it came to Vaughn? Or maybe, I'm not going to say it's creepy weird because I don't even want to do her like that. Let me be kinder. I don't even want to do her like that, but I would say she was probably filled with emotions. I think if she wasn't as emotional, she probably wouldn't have put that out there. That's what I do really think. I think if she wasn't as emotional, y'all just got to remember, maybe she was really in love with him. And y'all don't know what that pillow talk be like. Y'all don't know what those text messages late night be like when the niggas are off the road. And it just is what it is. It could have been like, you know what? Let's just call it quits right now. Let's see what happens in a few years. You know where I'm at with you. Y'all don't know. Y'all don't know. And so to have people try to put that on her, I don't see her like that. And yeah, she raps and she talks about some shit, but they all rap and talk about some shit. I haven't heard about her being out in public and showing her ass and just I don't even want to use somebody else's name, but I haven't heard what I've heard about other people when it comes to Asian Doll. So to see the public try to say like, girl, that nigga was not claiming you, that nigga, you know what I mean? So I think that sucks. Maybe she is promiscuous in her private life. Maybe she, she's knocking a couple of these niggas off. So what? These niggas are knocking a couple bitches off. You get what I'm saying? But at the same time, what's that mean? That doesn't give her a bad character. That doesn't mean that she's not wifey material. That doesn't mean any of that. She has access to niggas, high quality niggas, like that nigga had access to niggas. You get what I'm saying? So taking that back to what Erica Campbell said, I just think that people need to slow down with thinking that people are hoes and stuff like that because of maybe what they rap about and stuff like that. Doesn't necessarily mean that. It just does not necessarily mean that. There's actually women who could talk their shit, rap about their sexuality with partners that they've been with. It doesn't necessarily make you a hoe. It doesn't necessarily make you a hoe. So, I don't know, but I like these comments. So let's go ahead and get into that. So we have comments. So here goes. And so this article and where I got it from, you see, is a Jasmine brand. Lately, they have been killing it. They've been doing a lot of great interviews. Check them out. I really like that they're trying to expand their brand, and it seems like they're including more interviewers and stuff like that. It just seems like they're trying to make sure their presence is known for a long time. So I like that. It says gospel artist Erica Campbell says you can't sow hoe seeds and reap marriage benefits. And you have Monique Slaughter, and she says, baby, y'all not woke yet. The gospel folks be the shadiest. The shadiest. Okay? Okay. And it's so funny. I seen someone talk about this story, and they brought up Erica's husbands. They brought up Mary, which is Erica and Tina. Both of their husbands have cheated on them, but that doesn't even make their husbands hoes. Now, granted, I think Teddy, who is Tina's husband, I think he did a lot of sleeping around. Not even allegedly. All of this shit's allegedly. Don't forget that. But that doesn't make him a hoe. And I've seen a lot of people bringing that up, and I was like, well, that has nothing to do with nothing. Like, their husband's cheating on them has nothing to do with this comment. I'm pretty sure she thought her husband was like a hoe-ish type of man. Like, it would have been dealt with, or it would have been before their marriage. I mean, I just make No. And she sure as I wouldn't have said this if she really thought her man was out there still cheating. You gotta understand that. Because there's nothing like worse than eating crow. You out here talking about my man would never and a hoe is this and then. I mean, if he was still cheating. So if she really thought her man was still cheating, she wouldn't. I want to see the comments under Moniece. I love me some Moniece. I like Moniece is funny as hell. Moniece is funny. I think she's interesting. I think she's intelligent. And I know people like misread, but if you don't know me, you'll just misunderstand. But my favorite thing, and I actually watched it today, is that fucking Hollywood Unlocked video with Tate talking about Moniece. I know it's a sore subject for her, but I actually fuck with Moniece. I like Moniece a lot. And but that fucking shit is so funny. Like if you sat and listen to that Tate interview, you just be like, fucking Moniece is talented beyond measures. Just the shit she was thinking about doing. I ain't never left my motherfucking house over a nigga. So I'm not even trying to throw no shade, but I would just have thought in all the shit she was doing, that was a fucking lot. That was a lot. That was a lot. I couldn't imagine. But I want to read the comments underneath that post. Let me see. Just say ouch and move on. Shaking my head. Oh wait, that might be something else. Okay, so he said church folks be the worst. Okay, they be the absolute worst, and their shit is always fucked up. Always fucked up. Don't even like when I tell y'all. I know so many fucking people and supposedly church people. I know this girl right now. She swears she gave her life to Christ, and it's just like, what church you go to, huh? You don't mention no church. You don't talk about no pastor. You don't talk about Bible study. You don't write off no scripture. Like, come on, who you fooling? But there be those people who just like, if they put up a gospel meme or if they do something like that, they just swear they're holy. You gotta read through that shit. I mean, actions. That's all I care about. Don't even speak to me. Just move. Just let me see how you move. That's all I give a fuck. Just let me see how you move. And that's it. All right, so here we go here. I just wanted you to see how the world is always waiting to use any one of us in a bad light. I don't know what that means. Let me see. The shadiest. I'm gonna tell you the shadiest. Okay, I told you that story about the girl in the church and the guy who molested her. I just remember that it was just like the shadiest vibe. I don't fuck with church because again, I don't like it. Just gonna be completely honest. I mean, I like church, but I leave more confused than cleared mind. I have too many questions after the fact. That I find it not necessary. Like it's just too much. Okay, because I pay attention to words and shit like that. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the text messages that came in. So yeah, I pay attention to words. So for me, it's just like no. Church people are. Let me tell you the story. This one time, I was trying to be a part of this church and get involved with the members, and you know me. So I'm talking to this lady. We're exchanging information, and she asks me if I have a Facebook, right? And I knew at the time my fucking Facebook was just like not church person approved. You know what I mean? Like there shouldn't be nobody from church or nobody new should be on this Facebook at the time. I'm going in. I'm having some issues with some. Yeah. I'm going in. Cool. So, I told her no, I don't have a Facebook, whatever. So I'm thinking if someone tells you no, they don't have a Facebook, you don't go look for them, right? But this was actually at the height of the time where I feel like Facebook was integrating that if someone has your number, that when you go and pull up your Facebook, they could be seen under the suggested friends because of the phone number being in your phone, right? But I still feel like this was a little bit before that started happening. Either way, either if Facebook suggested it because I told you I didn't have a Facebook and you found out I did, I'm not requesting someone who lied to me about their Facebook, right? Okay, so whatever. She friends request me and I accept it. And I just like, this is a white woman at a black. It was a black church, but this was a white woman. So I accepted the friend request. Cool. Nothing, fine. Then I noticed that every time that I started fucking posting, that this woman would start posting shit like people know that they know better and they should be behaving better, da 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 da. And I'm like, nah, that's not for me, right? Like that's not for me. Like I'm tripping. So I start posting some more. I start posting just to see, because that's the thing. And even if it's on my Twitter, there's some shit that I will post on my Twitter and put out there just to see reactions. If I'm at work and if I post something on my fucking Twitter, it's to see if you're on my fucking Twitter, not minding your business, because I don't owe you my Twitter, right? Even if I say my coworkers getting on my nerve or something like that, I can do that, right? I'm allowed to. Everyone does that. Everyone talks about their life, so I'm not quite sure why people are so into me. Anyway. So, I will do that just to see how nosy the people are around me, just to see, because there's just no way you should be this invested in somebody who's not that invested in you, right? I know there's so many people who just walk around talking about somebody who don't be talking about them, don't be caring about them, or any of that type of shit. You get what I'm saying? And so that's how I felt about this church lady. Like, girl, like, I wouldn't have requested me, and two, I sure as hell would be subbing me after I went out the way of making it seem like I didn't have a Facebook. Anyway, that's my church folks. One of my church folk stories. Well, second one of them. I partially agree, save not, and you can vouch for this, Mo, that you sleeping with multiple people supposedly around the same time is looked at as being promiscuous. So it really doesn't have so much to do with just the church. It's based on morals and ethics. I mean, look at how many times people are called a hoe for investing time in someone, but clearly they're not in a relationship with them. I don't get that comment, because I thought when she was saying they are the shadiest, I thought she was talking in terms of Erica. So let me see if she responds to that, because I thought Savon Moreau. Let me see if she responds to him. That's the thing. I hate when you have to go look for like what the celebrity said to someone. Okay, so she never responded. And so someone wrote, bless her heart, marriage isn't a reward for being good. Marriage is also not an end goal for everyone. Just sit down, boo. I totally agree with that. Marriage is not the end goal for everybody. And I hate when people make that assumption, even when it comes to kids. Like, kids is not the objective for everyone either. You know what I mean? I know some people who just like, I don't want kids. And they do for a very long time, and they've committed to that. And I hate that society will make some women feel like they're less of a woman because they don't have kids, or they're not as much of a woman I've had so many friends who probably think that, oh, she don't know what it is to be a real woman. I'm a mother. Da, 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 da. And then I'd be like, you don't either. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I hate that society makes people feel like they're some type of upper echelon of a person, or you makes you better than somebody because you have kids and stuff like that. So it's just like, it doesn't work like that. See, exactly. In the comments, someone says true, but she needs to tell her husband, Warren Campbell, that he has cheated on her multiple times. Okay, he has cheated on her multiple times. So what does that have to do with the hoe? And granted, I can see why some people may feel like she's talking about women, because in a Christianity sense, from which I'm pretty sure she's thinking at it from, a man asks a woman to marry him, and a man does not ask, in a lot of cases, a woman to marry him if he feels like she's not like, it's like this, right? A man will marry his high school sweetheart. She'll be pure, innocent, not innocent, but she won't be a ratchet. She won't be a ratchet. That's what I say. And that's who he's chosen to be his wife. And I think a lot of time, I think that's what she's saying. Y'all out here glorifying a type of behavior that does not make a man pick you. That doesn't in the end. And I said this a few months ago, and I remember all the shady comments I heard. Oh, I'm not listening to women who. And then when men come out and say it, the women be mute. And all I feel like some women are doing, we're telling you what men say. I know for me personally, because I've been friends with a lot of men. I mean, just men, right? I've been friends with a lot of men. I know that that's how they feel. I don't know any homeboy of mine, past or present, you get what I'm saying, past or present, that shacked up with the whole type of female and married and wife her. I don't know that many men who've done that. Now, I know this whole ass bitch that recently just got married, but I mean, she had to do a lot. Like, keep that nigga away from everybody who knew her. Keep that nigga away from everybody who knew her. When they out, watching everybody who talks to him. You get what I'm saying? A hoe got to do a lot to her reputation if she want a nigga to marry her. She literally has to keep that nigga in a bubble so he never finds out about her past. Or I heard somebody say, oh, she gotta go to a different state. Gotta go to a different state. You know what I mean? I know Drea was thinking, oh, your whole facts don't matter after a while. Your whole facts can change. And it's just like, okay, where's the proof? Are you married? Are you married? You get what I'm saying? And that's not to say that. I'm just saying it's hard. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm just saying it's hard. You get what I'm saying? Um, Even with me, like if I'm dating a man that is promiscuous or has a past, been around a lot, that's intense. That's intense. That's intense because nobody wants to start off a relationship like, oh, let me see your phone. Nobody wants to start off a relationship like, who's that? You get what I'm saying? So, those are those things, though. And the same thing with a man. Like, okay, so when you get hit up or a nigga liking your pictures, online and stuff like that, he gonna want to know, okay, he'll pay attention. A man will pay attention if you have a lot of man traffic on your page. And that's the other thing that the reformed hoe did. There's no man traffic on her page. Y'all better peep the game. I'm giving y'all game. I'm giving y'all game. When a bitch has a page and your bitch is bad. Like, why niggas, and there's no niggas around on her page liking nothing around, and she keeps her telling you, run that whole fax report, pay that $15.99 and run that report. That's all I'm trying to say. But I fuck with Erica Campbell's message. I think that's a great message. I know more or less for me, I don't fuck with a lot of church. Another reason I don't fuck with a lot of church, I feel like they've moved away from really telling the truth. Like, this is the message that is supposed to be in church. More or less, I mean, I get it. They want to be, they want their doors to be open. They want people to feel welcome, but I also feel like it's caused them to I feel like it's caused them to water down the message of thou shall not. You know what I'm saying? That thou shall not message, there's no in between, there's no gray area. It's thou shall not. And I feel like sometimes when I was going to a church, and it's been quite a long time, they've gotten away from thou shall not do this, thou shall not do that. To make people feel comfortable about being in the house of in the house of God. And it's just like God is not supposed to make you feel comfortable if you're living wrong, if you're living in sin. You know what I'm saying? You're supposed to feel uncomfortable to the point you're moved to change who you are. You get what I'm saying? So, that being said, if this is your first time here, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. But that's my, take on that. Let me see if there are any good, juicy comments. I'm so over the inspirational memes that are nothing more than pure judgment. Okay? Like, literally, on my Instagram, if you, over the past few months, because you've listened to rumors or you thought something about whatever you may have been hearing, and you think you send me positive vibes through memes, generic ass memes that fits in one way but don't in the other, just, I've went and muted you. I went and muted you. I went and muted you. Especially the memes that make it seem like, oh, I hate memes that make victims feel bad for being nice people. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you shouldn't have trusted this person, or you shouldn't have did this. You knew, and da-da-da-da. It's like, is this meant to make me feel better? That I had a heart? Now, this is my song right here. Always. This is probably my favorite. No, this is my favorite song. I gotta start that over. And it makes me think of my family. Jaguar Right lineage. That is my favorite song of hers. Your family. I was Spencer Avenue. It was my Aunt Susie's house, and I still I remember Granddaddy sat on his knees, baby. And that's so dope, because if you really have been paying attention to Jaguar Wright, and when she did talk about her family, and she talks about not sitting on her grandfather's knee, on her. It's her grandfather on. Okay, let me think about it correctly. It's her grandfather. Wait. It's her grandfather on her mother's side. And he didn't do anything. I don't want to put that out there. But there's this awareness of the sexual abuse that happened on the other side of her family. So that grandfather and her mother. And then we're very careful about going forward. Like, no, sitting on your granddad's lap. That's not what we do. You want to correct some behaviors. And I say that to a lot of, because I told you a story about that church. So many young girls like that. Those things still need to exist. And I tell y'all this story all the time about my favorite story is Keke Palmer telling the story of Ice Cube having to tell her, "Come here, let me talk to you." You know what I mean? Being a young girl on these film sets and recording these movies. And she told a story. It's like, I was free. I was nice. I was a little girl. I was a sweet girl. I was on everybody's, sitting on everybody's, not I say sit on his lap, but I may be misquoting, but she was like, I was always in everybody's face, hugging everyone, just being cutesy. You know what I'm saying? We know when we met Akila in the beat, but she said it was Ice Cube who pulled it. Come here, let me talk to you. At an early age to put her on, nah, you don't do that. You don't sit on men's laps. You don't be in men's face. You know what I mean? And I remember even for myself, I remember getting checked very early when I was young. I think it was like 8 years old. And it wasn't nothing too big, nothing like on sitting on somebody's lap or somebody. It was about being in men's face. I think I was like 8 years old, and my mama had two homeboys. They used to play cards and stuff. But so they used to play cards, and then we would see them the next day, and he would give us like $1, $5 or something. He would just give us money just from whatever ones he had. And I remember this morning that he was stingy. He wasn't giving me no money. I remember he was not giving. I remember it was Roy. I remember it like yesterday, and I even remember where we were standing at, because if you from Boston, it was right there on Blue Hill Avenue, the Roxbury part, the gutter part where the hose used to be at by Meringues, right? And then they had a gambling spot across the street from there for the old people used to play. So I remember we were just standing out there just talking, but it was a little down the street, but it was still around the area. I just remember we were outside talking, and I was expecting my motherfucking daughter. I was 8 years old, and this was my little come up, and he used to give us money because me and my sister. And this morning he didn't, and I just remember I asked him. I said, "What's up with the dollar?" And I'm laughing because I'm like at 8 years old. I'm still like, why did you just open your mouth? But anyway, so I asked him for the dollar, and he said, "Nah, I don't have it this morning," or something like that. And I remember the face. He was so turned off by me asking him for this fucking $1 or $2. And I remember my fucking brother pulling me to the side and telling me afterwards when everybody was going, "Don't do that again. That's not what you do. You do not be in men's face. You do not ask for money. If somebody wants to give you something, they'll give it to you. But don't you be asking for a damn thing." And so those are those life lessons. Those are those things that you have to learn. Those are those things as women, or becoming a woman, those lessons you tell little girls. You know what I mean? Don't be in every nigga's face. It's not cute. You don't want to be looked like that. Either way, not to say you're doing anything wrong, but perception is everything, right? So I don't know. I fucks with Mary Mary. I missed their reality TV show. I like this comment. Someone wrote, "Oh, she ain't seen the streets lately." Okay. I mean, because some will say hoes are winning. Some will say, but let me tell you something. A hoe, if you got something that was supposed to be or was mine or something, bitch, it's yours. It's yours. It's yours. Oh my gosh, these hoes are crazy. Do they be winning though? I don't think so. You know what I'm saying? I just don't feel like it. I mean, look at all the women who are thought to be the baddest. Sex game's supposed to be the bomb. Do you know what I'm saying? And they use 5 years outside of reaching their peak of hotness. They still don't be married, and their money be dwindling. That's just a clear fact. They don't be married, their money be dwindling, or they're just not as hot as they used to because what they were serving was pussy. We gotta call it what it was. They were serving pussy. So 5 years, so that thing got some miles on it. Yeah, you're not as hot as anymore. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they're trying to say this can't be the plan. I mean, look at Amber Rose. She went from Kanye West, and she has 2 kids now. And that's to say, but she's not married. That's all I'm trying to say. She's just not married. Who else we want to look at? I don't want to call out names, but there are some women. There's a lot of women who have promoted the promiscuous. Even some of the rap stars. I mean, let's get to it. We can get to some of the rap stars who have talked that way and they're still not married. Foxy Brown has talked in a kind of hoish way, and I'm gonna say all the way, but Foxy Brown has done it. Who else has done? Little Kim has talked a certain way in her music, and these are all still women who aren't married. Who else was really on some whole shit? Jocelyn. Like, I mean, all I'm saying is you gotta give me examples of women who've talked and carried themselves outside of Cardi B. I can't, and I can be wrong, outside of Cardi B, I can't think of another rap woman who talks about being slutty and hoish that is engaged. That's just me personally. And I know everyone will be like, oh, Suki's engaged, but I mean, there's somebody from everybody. That's just it. I mean, he participates in that shit. So you get what I'm saying? He's with it. So I think that's an exception to the rule. Anytime, if your man is with it, like on some low hoe and pimp shit or whatever, benefactory of your hoeing, then he's with it. There's no getting around that. But if he was just a regular smuggler dude going to work or had a name of his for himself, nah, he wouldn't be with that. But he's being taken care of off of that, so he's with it. And that's, I mean, that just is what it is. I don't know any men who aren't being, if they weren't being taken care of behind a woman's hoish behavior, that they wouldn't be with it. They would be with it if they were getting taken care of. That's just my thoughts on that. All right, so let's see what else is up there. I think that's it. Or maybe I just don't feel like going back down. Let me see. Okay, they are eating her husband up. Okay, I like this comment. And Donarella said, "Child house sees. I've seen it done successfully. And another perspective is if the right man comes into play and shows her worth that she's obviously lost focus of because of whatever reason, then he can help her rediscover the woman she truly is. Marriage is ministry to believers, but." Not to the world. And once we understand that, we will know how to help more people be successful at marriage. Okay. Oh, there's a lot there. Let me go back up. And another perspective is the right man comes along and plays a part and shows her worth. No, I don't agree. I don't agree that a man can come along and show you your worth. And I think more or less we can see an example of that has always been Tamar Braxton. You know what I'm saying? How many times has Tamar Braxton sat in front of us? I need my man to think I'm the finest and tell me how beautiful I am. And did it work? Was it working? Did you get it? Did you start behaving that way? Because it didn't never work. I mean, it had not worked up until maybe, hopefully recently. But that was always her thing. You know what I mean? She always found her worth in her man's approval and what her man thinks of her. And that's why I always tell women, like, everything you feel and love about yourself cannot be tied up into men. It can't be tied up into men. Everything that you feel and love about yourself cannot be tied up into men. You get what I'm saying? So that's why I feel like this message is like weird. Like, do you not feel beautiful and worthy if a man doesn't feel like you're beautiful and worthy? I'm just confused by that. So let me see. Rediscover the woman she truly is. Yeah. There's a lot there. There's a lot. We are talking about Erica Campbell and her saying that you can't sow hoe seeds and reap marriage benefits. Your brain and body don't switch like that. You got to prepare your mind for marriage because it's ministry. And I was just saying that I think that goes both ways. I don't think that's a woman thing either. I most definitely wouldn't date a man that is super promiscuous and all over the place. Because again, for those same reasons that she's saying that you can't, for those same reasons that she's saying. And I was just saying that I think people need to think of this as though it can be talked about men and women. You know what I'm saying? Like, a man can be a hoe. A man can be a hoe. But I will say men do the choosing. That's what it is. And at the end of the day, if a man chooses a woman to be his wife or, takes a woman on as his woman, it's usually not someone that the hood or people think is a hoe. Now, when a nigga does that, he's usually making money off of her. I'm just being completely honest. Or he doesn't give a fuck about her in a long term sense. It just is what it is for right now. But they usually aren't the ones that like I know a dude one time, and he messed with a whole bunch of hoes, and you would just tell that he was just not being cautious, or he wasn't really thinking about the bigger picture until like they showed up pregnant. And it's like like nigga, why are you crying now? Like why now? Why not before you knew? Like I just weird. Just weird shit. But I don't know. That's all I got. So if this is your first time to my channel, because I'm recording my YouTube video too. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And y'all know how we do it here. We keep it bougie and posh. And I am out.